Do you know why clutter is so detrimental? Because it talks to you. It says things like, you're so overwhelmed. You bit off way more than you could chew here. It uses verbiage like, you are so stressed out. You will never get to this. There's just too much. Right now, I'm going to talk to you about 10 ways to declutter your life. I'm Danielle. Welcome to my channel. I am a homeschooling mom of 7. Let's dive right into this. Number 1, don't turn your cell phone on for the first hour of your day. I do have my phone with me, but I use it just for the timer, and it is on airplane mode. I have found that if I'm going to get even a tiny smidge of quiet before the kids get up, I need to make sure I have no distractions. You can look and just check a couple things on your phone and suddenly 20 minutes is gone. And maybe that 20 minutes as a mom was all you had before you had to start taking care of everyone else's needs for literally the next 5 hours. When I am not distracted by my cell phone in any way in the morning, I am able to start my day really productively, not only in the things that I do, but in the way that I'm thinking. Number 2, clean the surfaces that are in the room you spend the most time in. For me, it's the kitchen. I spend the majority of my day in the kitchen. Even if I'm done making meals, we are using the counter for school or we are using the counter for crafts. I was noticing that on my surfaces, there was always piles of paper. It's where my husband brings in the mail and sets it. It seems like our mail and paper piles are constantly on my kitchen counters. So every time I see that paper clutter, I'm thinking, okay, those bills need to be paid. Okay, this needs to be done. I'm actually thinking about it, even though I'm not doing anything with it. So I actually delegated a specific drawer for that paper clutter. Now, this is dangerous because you know what happens if things are tucked away in drawers. Recognizing that paper clutter really bothered me, I can put it in the drawer, and then when I have time, then I go through the paper clutter and put it where it needs to go. Step 3, just breathe. Just take a minute to take a deep breath and concentrate just on breathing. What clutter creates in our brain is a sense of stress. So whether it be mental clutter or physical clutter, you are feeling that sense of stress. And breathing helps relieve stress instead of just going and going and going. Number 4, throw things away. Don't stay super attached to things. And this is something that obviously is a process. We're all at various stages. And remember, when you toss out your kids' stuff, make sure that you take it out of the house and dump it somewhere. They can't find it. If they find it, you're in trouble. But constantly be throwing things away. If they're stained, if they're broken, don't hold on to them. Leave them on the counter for 7 to 10 business days. Number 5, gratitude. If you are feeling stress, if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling discouraged, just take a couple minutes. And I like to do this aloud, but just say, I am so thankful for my family. I'm so thankful that I have all these little kids to clean up after. I am so thankful that we have so many clothes, that we have an abundance, that we have more than enough. You know, you just take a minute to bring everything into proper perspective. Because when you reach that perspective, all the little things, the less important details, the things that you actually spend so much mental energy on that aren't important, will go into a more rational place. Keep a running list of all the places that need to be decluttered or need to be tidied up. But make them really small, not just, I need to declutter the kitchen. I need to declutter my closet. No, I need to declutter my sock drawer. I need to throw away all the broken cups or mugs with handles that are chipped. Just make the list so specific and so doable that it is easy in a day to look at your list and say, oh, I'm in the kitchen. I'm waiting for this pot to boil. I think I'll just do this drawer. It's really important to recognize just what a list will do for taking that stress of clutter out of your head. It's constantly going around like a bowl of spaghetti and onto a piece of paper where you can then look at it. There's 75 things or maybe 5 things, depending on where you're at in the spectrum of decluttering. And then you can pick one. 7. Now this goes to our mental clutter, but it's all part of decluttering our lives. Say this out loud. This isn't a big deal. Just say it right now, out loud. This isn't a big deal. I do this all the time. I just say, okay, that's not a big deal. I just take a minute. Just today, one of my sons pulled a plate out of the cupboard. There was a smaller plate on top of it, and it crashed into my teapot. I felt very disappointed. That teapot was something that my grandma gave me, and it was from her travels out of the country. Anyway, I really liked the teapot. And so my initial reaction is disappointment and irritation and anger. And so it just took me a minute to say, it's just stuff. And I actually said that out loud. It's just stuff. And he was very apologetic, of course, but I said, it's okay. And I'm going to try and repair it. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to let it go because it's okay. It's just stuff. Number 8, anytime you leave a room, take things out of that room that don't belong in that room and bring them to the room that they belong in. I tell my children all the time, don't leave the upstairs empty-handed. Either there's trash you can take down or there's some things that made their way upstairs, maybe some school books, and you can just take them down and put them away. Never leave a room empty-handed if there are things in that room that need to go to a different room. 9, use your timer. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I am really fond of using a timer. If you have a lot going on and maybe your house is messy, my house right now, it's really messy. So the idea of even being able to take back your space is just, it's a pipe dream. There's no way. If that's the case, use your timer, set it for 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 10 minutes or 2 minutes, whatever you have time for. And when that timer stops, stop. Just do it for that allotted time period. Guys, I set my timer all the time. Like, I'm just going to do this for 10 minutes. I can do anything for 10 minutes. Maybe it's a crutch, but it's a very functional crutch. 10, recognize noise clutter and how that affects your mind. I will come downstairs or I will go into a room and there will be someone playing the piano, someone listening in the same room to, I don't know, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony or something less beautiful. And also a couple kids playing with really loud battery operated choo-choo trains. While they're doing that, they seem to be talking and singing or whistling all at the same time. Sometimes that noise clutter is just the last straw. It's like the last thing I needed to just explode. So recognize that you're having a clutter reaction. In lieu of hollering at everyone, ruining everyone's fun, and trying to get back, instead of doing that, just walk outside. If it's warm enough. If it's not, walk into the bathroom. Do something that kind of gets you out of that cluttered environment and regroup. Our peace as moms has to be greater, has to be deeper than our environment because our environments are often not peaceful. Some days it feels like everyone's crying, everyone's fighting, everyone's arguing, everyone's whining, and everyone's asking me for things constantly. It doesn't feel peaceful. So if I am looking to my environment to receive that peace that passes understanding, I'm going to be severely disappointed. Jesus is our peace, and he's constant. He's faithful. He's unchanging. And I like to tell myself, you know, the peace within me is greater than the chaos without. That's a promise. I have a request. Would you please just in the comment section, let me know what kind of videos you would like to see in this new year. I really am interested in getting more audience feedback. I'm a very small channel right now, so I really want to know what the moms out there that are watching my channel are interested in hearing about. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys go out and tackle that clutter. I will see you next time.